Hello and welcome to this new hydrotherapy session. Today we are going to see the complications that can go hand in hand with starting finger osteoarthritis, and for which I shall also give 2 remedies. At the end of the video we'll see some tips for the winter. Remember the left middle finger here at beginning osteoarthritis with pain, in other words with inflammation, and a tendency to deformation. We saw the difficulties that this entails, particularly with regard to the use of hot or cold applications or the way to wrap the poultice. And this had led me to create a bed with a splint in video 23 as to try to contain the pain and to avoid aggravation of the beginning deformation. Thanks to the splint, I've been able to avoid further deformation of the finger, but I have to add that there may be complications due to the fact that inflammation and osteoarthritis require diametrically opposed applications. Inflammation requires cold, while osteoarthritis requires hot. And the complication that there can be is that of swelling. And that's what happened during this second period of treatment. Because heat causes inflammation to swell, just think of the finger we saw with knife in video 22, and where a hot application caused an abscess to form, while cold causes osteoarthritis to swell. Remember, I noticed this right from the beginning during the spontaneous healing of my left index finger. And I mentioned this in the video from the left index to the hidden idea behind the oat straw poultices. This video dates from October 2015 and is still available on my YouTube channel. So yes, I've been coping with swelling during this second period of treatment. Is swelling a serious issue? Well, I'm inclined to say no, because it comes and goes. I'm going to give 2 natural tips to treat it. But this said, even without the complication of inflammation, always keep in mind that there may be swelling as soon as there is contact with cold. And that's why I repeatedly insist upon this, just like Naib does, that the poultice for osteoarthritis must be warm at all times, and as soon as it becomes cold, it must be renewed. Even the outer layer of wool, or I use polyester, must be a little wet and a bit warm. If Naib himself, who is an unconditional adept of cold, insists on this point, believe he has every reason to do so. The cold is really the enemy number 1. It is not for nothing that elderly, retired people often move to more gentle climates. Okay, if there is swelling, there are also remedies. Just add a bit of salt or vinegar to the morning finger baths. These may be simple water or linden or oat straw or clay baths. But I did this every other day. I gave a plant bath, linden or straw for instance, with some vinegar or salt. And every other day I give a clay bath, pure, with some vinegar or salt. We already saw clay baths do the greatest good. Clay treats inflammation, but also burns, for instance. I once burnt my foot and I cured it with 4 clay baths a day during 2-3 weeks, let's say. But the most important thing to remember concerning beginning osteoarthritis are the following 2 points. First, it is useless to put poultices all day long because the risk is real to end up with a burning sensation. So I do not force anything as long as there is pain. I simply give alternative baths and if possible 1 poultice a day in a splint transformed into a bed. Second, and this is the lesson of this video, and I really learned it myself, the effectiveness of vinegar for pain. And we are now immediately see what Naip says about vinegar. I just want to insist to choose a good vinegar, for instance, apple vinegar. Okay? Okay. In inflammations produced by contusions and shocks, vinegar is used because it is a resolvent. It prevents putrefaction, so meat is often kept in vinegar. Wounds were often washed with vinegar to prevent gangrene, and the cure followed all the more quickly. By washing with vinegar, blood is often also prevented from being deposited on a limb as a result of a bruise. Vinegar gives flexibility to the legs. The strongest bruises are cured by vinegar. When inflammation occurs as a result of a leg fracture, vinegar is still efficacious. The swelling dissolves and the blood circulates anew. We see that vinegar rids the human body of much pain. So, well, we are now going to take a look at the photos to show what I went through. I went through swellings, as I said, but we're going to see that the situation moves and goes into the good direction. So here is the new photo. So it dates from September 15. It is the result of alternative daily baths, as I just explained, and if possible, 1 poultice. We see in the starting photo, here on the left, a staircase, while here on the right, the area here on the left is flatter. And the hollow here is smaller, maybe a bit deeper, but the area is already a bit less wide. A line above is more horizontal, and here the upper line goes down already here from here, nearly in the middle. So as I said, besides this, I went through swellings. These come and go. So this is what I went through several times, but I'm going to show just 1 photo. One can see that the area is swollen. All of this area is swollen. And this picture dates from 27 September. And this picture dates from 30 September. So the swelling is already improved. So for now, I think pain is nearly completely gone. Well, let's now see what we can do during the winter. Since cold is the #1 enemy of osteoarthritis, it is also necessary to take precautions for winter. Wash hands always with hot water and keep them warm to the maximum. They say that in winter it's better to wash hands in cold water but it is because I did so that I got this osteoarthritis to the fingers. I add that I've been able to avoid my winter eczema last year when I started to take additional measures to avoid any contact with the cold. Cold vegetables, cold water, cold everything. I've devoted a video to this eczema called Special Winter Session. It dates from January 2016 and is still available on my YouTube channel. Further, since during the winter we sweat less and we eliminate less while doing sport or yoga that makes you sweat, maybe also recommended, especially for those who do not like to sit for a long time with the poles. I would say see these precautions downright as good habits to take once and forever. To summarize in 2 words, the left middle finger pain is now as good as under control, but I think the finger is not yet stable. So we do not force anything. I spare the finger doing baths with salt or preferably vinegar, and poultice only when possible. And for the remaining, I let time do its job. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Until the next video, bye bye.